Hello everyone, and welcome back to another custom model showcase for this round. Sorry about that, I was picking something up. But anyways, let's get on with the next custom showcase, shall we? Sure, let's go. So today's custom model spotlight shall be on one that I finished up, like I said before, last month. This one was actually one of the best ones I've ever done, and really in my best quality ever. It's croven. No, not those crovens, if you're actually thinking about them. Those just regular Gordon repaints. I'm talking about this croven. Croven 3.0. And oh my god, I did the best work I've ever done in my life. So let's get into him. So as you can already tell, this croven is actually made from a Trackmaster Henry. Probably hit toys. So yeah. After that, the first thing I did was I first used my Dremel to take off the firebox, as well as the domes that you see on Henry. I was going to leave one for... Sorry about that, my mom's in the... Hold on. Sorry about that, my mother was in the way. Anyways, like I said before, I used the Dremel. I was supposed to keep the original dome over here, but due to some other stuff, but due to it being in the way, I decided to get rid of it. A sacrifice I couldn't really do. Anyways, after that, I used some parts from an old Edward I had around before I actually had my new Edwards. My new Edward models. Not the Tommy one. My very first Edward. So yeah, I used its parts for Henry, for Croven right here. For the lever, and for the boiler. So I used... So yeah, with the help of Milliput, I actually was able to mold it into a smooth, sort of boiler-like shape for the firebox. It's not really the best of ones I've actually done, but hey, it's close enough, isn't it? So after that, I then sanded the entire thing down so it was flat as ever. And for this part over here, I used another part from Edward, and then used Milliput and Tamiya Putty to sand it down into its flat shape. I was also able to use Milliput for the handrail. To make room for the smoke box, since it was going to be over here, I was able to, you guessed it, use the Dremel to extend the gap for the smoke box. Everything else was then used with Milliput. Windows, the whistle, the builder's plate, heck, even the parts of the smoke box over here in front of the, footplate. I kept the steam pipes normal because reasons. And at first I was going to paint the part over here, the boiler, in black to go along with the smoke box since it is supposed to be a bit longer. But I decided to no. Though it does make it look a bit stupid, I know that. Anyways, after that, I then made modifications to the footplate. Actually, the footplate. I shaved down the buffers a little bit. Well, the buffers themselves. The place where the buffers rest, you get the point. Then well, you get the point. After that, I then got to work with painting it. Oh, and by the way, the dome was made of milliput. I painted the entire thing in a award blue, which you might have seen before, since it is the color of Lover Girl. So glad I used Pretender instead of X. So glad I used Pretender. And if you don't believe me, yes, I used Pretender. I used Lover Girl's Tender. I had no spare tenders available, so this one had to work. Unless I wanted to sacrifice my only Emily. Which I thought, no, don't do it. And I didn't. Anyways, like I said, award blue, painted the footplate in, you guessed it, dolphin gray, black for the outskirts, red on the bottoms, and that was that. As for the tender, like I said before, Lover Girl's tender made to be fitted for croven. The first thing I did was I first decided to sand the entire thing down, put some Tamiya putty on it, sand it down again, and there we go. After that, I painted the stripes. I painted back in award blue, and then finally worked on the stripes. Painted the wheels separately, chassis 2 in black. Fun fact, it was actually spray painted on the chassis for the tender. Then after that, I then got to work with, you guessed it, weathering it. And like some of the others, I gave it backlining and a lamp. After that, after weathering it, I then sprayed it with a clear coat to seal the deal. However, there is one flaw with it. It can run, but unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it to free roll. Somehow the gears would lock when I first ran it. It took me a bit of tries, but at least I figured it out. It was the gears. Well, I didn't know what was wrong, so I decided to just shave off the gear to actually make room for it to free roll. So until I can actually fix it, or probably never, this is gonna run like this. Permanent free roller. The face was actually a pretty interesting one. It's a Gordon face, which was modified with milliput and putty, which was modified with milliput and Tamiya putty. After that, I finally had a custom croven. It wasn't just a Gordon repaint. Now, I actually do plan on making 98462 as well. Reason is because... Okay, let's see here. Here we go. Let's see. Reason is because I have a knockoff Edward that I actually made into a background engine. The face was lost. But I'll try to find it soon. Now, I do plan on making 98462 out of a knockoff Edward. Since it does have the perfect wheel configuration. Japanese knockoffs may not have the right wheel configuration, but hey, at least they're going to be good for customs. So yeah, before you ask, no, I'm not making this one into Alfred. Because this one's better off being a background engine. And before you ask, and before you say so, yes, I should have made this into Alfred before. So that's that. So yeah, that's it for Croven. Another one of those easier models I've actually done before. Hugely inspired by Trainmania 19, except for the tender. Tender inspired by custom track masters. But yeah, still one of my favorites. So, thank you all for watching this custom model spotlight on Croven. Please be sure to like and subscribe in the comments, and let me know what you think of Croven. So, see you all next time.